Hey everybody, welcome back to Baseline Farms. Hope everyone's doing well. So much stuff has been happening on the farm. Now, since the last video that I posted where I was at work, so let's see, I was going to come back home and I was going to work on some of these garden beds over here and level them out. And then John reminded me that we were going to a concert because his cousins were, they have a small band called We Banjo 3, and they're playing at a venue here in Sacramento. So we were so excited. So we went to go and see them in concert, and I just love them. They have a channel on Pandora. I think they have a Pandora channel and one on Spotify, and it's kind of like bluegrass music with a Irish, I guess, flair to it. And yeah, I just love them. They're so great. Their music is super upbeat, and yeah, so we ended up doing that over the weekend. So today is Wednesday, and yeah, so that's what we did over the weekend. We hung out with them on Friday, and then on Saturday, because we stayed out so late, and we're just not acclimated to staying out late anymore. So we ended up taking a lazy day on Saturday. We were really just lazy. We didn't do anything, which was so nice because we haven't had one of those lazy days in so long. We haven't slept in, which, I mean, I didn't really sleep in. I'm still up early because I have to let out the chickens and feed all the animals and things like that. But yeah, it was nice change of pace, I guess, from just farming and working. So I wanted to share with you what is happening in the garden. And oh, sorry, got a text message. But yeah, I wanted to show you what was happening in the garden. And this kitty, he doesn't come in the garden unless I'm in the garden. So if I'm in the garden, he's in the garden. If I'm anywhere in the property, he's with me. So that is, yeah, I guess that's what happens when you feed the animals. They follow you everywhere. So look at, he's just sunbathing right here next to me, enjoying this beautiful sun. But I don't want him to be in the garden beds at all. Come on, buddy, let's get out. Let's go. No, come on. My goodness, he's smashing up the plants. I'm not used to having cats. Oh my gosh. Kitty, come on, let's go. I'm not used to having cats, so I don't really know how to behave around them. But look at this guy. Okay, maybe if I let the dogs in, they'll get him out of the garden bed. Okay, so come on, get the kitty out of here. Come on, kitty. Come on, kitty. Oh my goodness. How do you get a cat out of the garden bed without using water? Come on, let's go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh my God, I need to figure something out. Because he just smashed all of my red onions. Not all of them, just 2. Okay, so let me show you what is happening in the garden. Over here, we are in the little onion patch, and the onions are doing so good. Now, someone asked me if this was a short day. I think they said short day variety onion. You know what? I'm not even too sure on the package. So these red onions, I have no idea. I mean, I'm assuming that it is because they're growing and the days are shorter. So maybe they are. So who knows? But these are the red onions that my dad popped out for me from not too far from here. And they're doing really good. I'm not too sure when to actually harvest them. Now, everything that I have read, it says that when these leaves at the bottom start to dry out and brown, then that's when you're supposed to harvest them. So we'll just wait and see. This is my first year growing this amount of onions. Last year, I only grew a small amount and the bulbs were really small. So hopefully this year the onions will be better. So over here we have some yellow onions, and those are doing really well as well. And yeah, I just cannot wait to see what they're going to taste like. All right, so now these are the 2 garden beds that I want to work on. This bed right here, I need to fix the irrigation. It's leaking right there at the bottom, so I need to take care of that. And then the other bed over there, I just need to add the soil into it and level the garden bed. Plus, John is ordering some more gardening, I guess, soil for the garden bed, so that way I could work on them. I actually did start some seeds, so I cannot wait to show you what seeds I started. But over here, this is where we have our carrots, and they're looking pretty good. Oh my goodness. So I found out what was happening to my spinach over there and why I wasn't getting any. Oh my goodness. So I was out here early this morning and there was a flock of birds eating on the spinach. And I noticed that they've been eating off of this little bit of spinach that I have over here too. So I think what I'm going to have to do is get some sort of netting to put on the top of it, because obviously they're not afraid of my scarecrows. They're just, yeah, they're brave. And I don't know why the cat's not chewing off the birds, but that's a problem, because they were going to town. And then when I saw what they were doing, they were just picking at the spinach, and they were just, oh my goodness. So now I know what is happening to the spinach and why the spinach was not growing. It's because the birds were eating them. And there was a lot of birds. So we're going to have to take care of that problem. But yeah, over here, the carrots are doing really well. And, you know, the more I started thinking, I think I'm just going to go ahead, and now that I know what the problem is over there with the spinach, I'm going to go ahead and succession sow some spinach in that other bed. And then over here on this bed, I'm going to do another row of carrots and another row of turnips right in the middle here. But that's pretty much it. And the spinach over here is still doing, look at that. I love it. It's doing so good. But I have to catch them. I have to catch those birds. I have to stop them from eating them, or else I'm not going to have any spinach to eat. So yeah, we're going to have to take care of that. So now let's go and show you what the garlic is looking like. All right, here is all of our garlic, and our garlic is doing so good. I mean, nothing's really changed. I wish I could see and know what's looking like underneath the garden bed. I mean, that's the big surprise, to see if the bulb is big or not. Now, last year I did grow some garlics, but I put them in a half a wine barrel and they did just fine. And I didn't really have that many, but they were delicious, the ones that I did have. Okay, so over here is lemongrass. Oh no, a bee. And I have not trimmed it at all. I was going to trim it on Friday, but then, you know, plans came up, and they didn't come up. We've had these plans. It's just I forgot. So over here in this one little garden bed right here, this is where we had the Jerusalem artichokes, ginger, and peppers. And I still need to level this, and eventually we'll get some garden soil, hopefully by this weekend, and I'll go ahead and redo that bed. Now, in the last video, I totally forgot to show you the raspberry and where I planted the raspberry bush. So here it is, right here. I put it in one of these little metal boxes, and it's doing really good. I mean, it's still alive. I see the new growth. It's producing new growth, so that's really promising. And I think I need to water it, but other than that, it's doing pretty good. So I'm hoping this year that we get some sort of blackberry from this blackberry bush. Okay, so this is the bed that the birds were eating on. And look at this. Let me show you their damage. Look at that. That's the damage from the birds. That is not from caterpillars. They're literally eating the tops and eating the spinach. So, oh my goodness. And they're taking some good pieces. Look at this. They're just going to town. So, yeah, you know, I'm definitely going to have to get some sort of netting to place over this so that the birds do not eat the spinach. Now that I know what the problem was. I was thinking it was so many different things. I never thought it was the birds. I thought it was the soil. I thought it was, I just thought it was the dirt. I thought it was the soil that I was planting my seeds in and was the problem. And then when I saw the herd of birds, the flock of birds in here, man, that's disappointing. And also I was noticing that on top of the broccoli, they've been eating the tops of the broccoli. So we're gonna have to deal with that. Okay, so here is the broccoli, and the broccoli is doing really well. Now we did harvest a couple stalks last night because they're already flowering. Some of them were bolting already, and I think it was because we were having some not warm weather, but it was sunny and it was a little bit warmer in the daytime. I want to say probably in the 50s. Today is supposed to be in the high 50s, which is really nice. I mean, I don't even have to wear a jacket. It was super cold this morning though. It was like 30 degrees this morning. The past few mornings have been really freezing cold, about 30 degrees. There's been frost all over the garden beds. We had the little icicles on one of the water spigots, so it was pretty cold. But the broccoli seems to really like this cold weather. It's doing so well, and I noticed that like right here, right at the very tips, at the very top, you can see little pieces of the broccoli missing because the birds have been eating them. My goodness, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know it's the birds. I was just thinking it was so many other things. But, I mean, I'm not glad it's the birds, but I'm glad I know what's been killing off the spinach over there. Okay, now right here, this is where I planted the raspberry bush. And I hope we get some raspberries. I mean, I don't know. I see a little bit of new growth here. And I think that's a good thing. That's a promising thing, and the soil feels good. So I'm hoping that it survives because those roots were so intertwined with one another that, man, I was thinking I was ripping it apart, and I was hoping that I didn't kill them. So I'm glad that I could see a little bit of new growth here and there, and I can't wait to get some raspberries. All right, so over here in this bed, this is where we have the celery, and we just have one row of celery right over here. Now, in all of these beds, when the guys first put the irrigation together, they only did, you know, like you see four rows. And so what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add maybe 2 more rows to make 6 total, so I could just plant and utilize as much of the bed as possible, so that way, you know, we could just have a ton of stuff growing in here. Now, I don't know what else I'm gonna put next to the celery. I'm gonna have to find out what grows well with celery, what's compatible with it, because I don't know if celery needs a lot of water or what. So that's my dilemma, is trying to figure out what to put in all of these garden beds and how to plant the garden beds. So yeah, I'm thinking since we have celery here, then I might, I don't know, I might put some more broccoli in this area, or some cauliflower, since I know that we have that one cauliflower still growing. I mean, I know that's definitely possible. All right, so over here, this is where we have all of our carrots, and we have our cabbage right there, and the carrots are doing so good. So I'm just gonna continue to sow the carrots in succession, sow carrots in like these little blank areas here, so that way we could just get a good amount of carrots all year long, or at least for as long as we can. So that's what our plan is. And then let me show you what's happening with the Myers lemon. All right, so here we have our Myers lemon, and we don't have any lemons yet, and I cannot wait till we can get some lemons. I hope this is not just like a decorative little plant that doesn't give us anything, because I've been taking care of it for some time now, and hasn't produced not one lemon. And I just can't wait. I love Myers lemon, and I love using it for lemonade and cooking and all kinds of stuff. So I hope we get some sort of lemon, or at least, I don't know, maybe some sort of potential lemon. So this is how the Myers lemon's doing, and that's pretty much it. All right, so then right here, this is where we had the corn, and then we had all of these beds right here, just unorganized. So now we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna plant. And then John corrected me. So we have 2 boxes here. We have this box right here for irrigation, and then we have this other box, I don't know, right there, and that one is gonna be for electricity. So that is so exciting. And then the guys were out here yesterday, I think yesterday, and they were working in the little garden, and they are putting up a water spigot for me. So that way I can have a little water spigot right there by the little garden. So let me show you what is happening in the little garden. Let's get my entourage out here. All right, there they go. Come on, guys. All right. So the little garden, you know, is looking pretty good. Just have a bunch of onions. The chickens are doing really good. The little chicken, which I think that's what we're going to be calling her, the little Dominique, which is the gray chicken with the white polka dots, she's doing really good. This morning I was picking her up and feeding her, and yeah, she's doing really good. She's actually gained a little bit of weight, but you can still tell that she's smaller than the rest of the chickens. So, but that's okay, because now her name is Little Chicken. Because she's the smallest one. All right, so let me show you. I hate it when that gate swings closed. I keep forgetting. Okay, so over here is our onions, and we just have a bunch of onions right here. We have all of our red onions, and they're just looking so good. I just cannot wait to see what they look like. And it looks like we have a random garlic right over here, but we have garlic all the way over there in that bed. So we have 2 beds of red onion, 1 bed of garlic, and then an empty bed that we had some eggplant in that I need to amend the soil and get it ready for some more planting, which I think, you know, I talked about it in this garden. I'm going to make this into our cut flower garden, and I did buy some seeds for some flowers, so we'll see how that goes. Now we have our yellow onions right here in the front. We have our red onions that are doing extremely well, and then we have some more yellow onions in the very back row over there. And then next to this bed, right on the other side right here, we have our white onions right here, these 2 rows of white onions, and then we have just some random red onions and some green onions in the corner. And I think that's pretty much everything. So this is pretty much what is happening in the small garden. Now I did start some seeds on Monday. I started a bunch of peppers. I did start our tomato seeds, and what else did I start? Now I did not start as many as I have started in the past. Like last year I started so many seeds. But real fast, before I show you the seeds, I just want to share with you what is happening in my little mint patch. I haven't showed you this since the summertime, but this is where we had our Thai chili. So right here, this is where we had our Thai chili plant, and I had a bunch of mint and basil. So all of the mint is coming up, and I trimmed up the Thai basil a little bit, but I think I trimmed it up a little bit too much. I'm still kind of figuring out how to trim up bushes, so hopefully it makes a really strong comeback because I trimmed it up so much. But I have 2 beds, just like that one. I have another wheelbarrow full of mint, and all of the mint is coming up. So that is so exciting to have that much mint. In the other, matter of fact, let me just show you. In this other garden bed, this is kind of near the house. This one has 3 different types of mint. It has an orange mint, a spearmint, I think, or peppermint, and a spearmint, I believe. And then it has some chamomile. So let me show you right over here. So this, in this little not wine barrel, but wheelbarrow, we have just a ton of mint. We have some of this orange mint, we have some chamomile, and then I have a peppermint. And then I actually transplanted some of the mint from that other garden bed, and we have a hellebore from the other garden bed into this one, and it's actually doing pretty good. So let me show you the pond too. The pond is still full, and yeah, we haven't had any rain. Now we're supposed to be getting rain coming up soon. I want to say this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're supposed to be having rain. I don't know how much rain, but I hope we have a good amount, because, you know, we could always use it. But yeah, so the pond is still really full, looking really beautiful. And this morning we had the most beautiful sunrise. It just looked so fake. It was so beautiful. And then tonight we're gonna set up a telescope, because we have a telescope, and there's supposed to be the green planet, or no, not green planet, a green comet. So a green comet's supposed to be streaking through the sky. So So Jasmine, my daughter, has been wanting to see that, so I'm going to set up a telescope for her, and hopefully we'll get a glimpse of it, and that'll be super exciting. But let me go into the trailer. Let me show you what is happening. It might be kind of messy, but this is my she shed. So this is where I come in and to get out of the house. So if I don't want to just be inside doing chores on a rainy day or something like that, then I get to come into my little she shed here and hang out. Sorry if it's a little dark, I might have to adjust the lighting. There we go. So yeah, so I come in here. This is where I store all of my sewing machines and fabric. And you know, we don't have internet in this trailer, so I have to use my hotspot, but that's okay. Eventually we'll get internet on the whole entire property, which would be so exciting. All right, so let me show you what is happening and how my setup is. I don't have anything fancy. Okay, so let me give you a better look. Wait 1 minute. All right, so here's my setup. It's nothing fancy. I don't have anything super fancy. Now this will be my 4th year or 3rd year gardening. I think it might be my 3rd spring garden. So in the first year, I didn't do anything fancy either. In the first year, I had no idea how to garden. I didn't know what to plant. And I started all of my seeds, and I used a little dome. I just bought the little kit, and I used it, and I just set it outside through the weather. I didn't put them inside at all. I just put a little dome on top of it. You know, just a little setup that you buy from you can buy it from the hardware store, from Walmart, Target. It just comes in a little setup with a little dome and the trays. So that's what I did, and I ended up using Miracle-Gro. I had no idea what I was doing. I planted the seeds. Some of them came up, some of them didn't. But I was able to have a nice little garden. We had a bunch of cherry tomatoes because I had no idea what seeds to plant or, you know, what to expect. It was my first garden ever. And so that was my first year. The second year, we ended up, you know, really getting nuts. So I bought a ton of flowers, seeds, and I thought I was going to, you know, start my own flowers and do all kinds of things. I was just going crazy. So we bought so many seeds. We planted so many. And I ended up buying a bunch of trays. I ended up buying, let me show you. All right, so these were the trays that I purchased probably about a few years ago. And I still have a ton more because I bought them in bulk along with the 1040 trays. I bought them from a website called Green Solutions, and they had some really good deals back 3 years ago. And so that's where I purchased all of my stuff. Now, this year I did not do that. Now I still have a ton of these trays that I could use that I might still use when I do another set of tomatoes, but this is my setup for right now. What I ended up doing is I have this jute twine right here. It's really rigged up. These lights came with a bunch of hardware, but the hardware was for you to mount them up high like this. And last year I just used a bunch of zip ties and lowered them when I needed to. And so this year what I did was I put this piece of wire around the light fixture. I don't know, let me see if I can turn this off so you can see it. All right, so I have this piece of metal right here that's kind of intertwined, holding the light. And then I put some jute twine. I don't recommend this setup. This is just my little riggedy setup. And I put some jute twine on there, and then it's just tied up here underneath on this bar. And so I could lower it and raise it to whatever height I need. So as far as the trays go, what I ended up doing was saving these little containers. These are the containers that we get plants in. So I ended up saving these containers. And what I ended up doing was I put a little bit of a potting soil on the bottom. This is the first time I've ever done this. And then I put a seed starting mix on the top. Now, the seed starting mix I ended up getting from a local nursery. It's called EB Stone Organic Seed Starting Mix, which let me show you. Okay, so this is the seed starting mix that I use. Last year I bought a big bag of this. I think it was a 1.5 cubic yards. And I only needed one big bag, and I still had a ton of it left. So I did use some of that as well. I just kind of wet it down. And so this is my thought process of why I did it this way. Last year, I had these cells. It was 72 cells. I had so many of them. And I got a little carried away. And I planted 3 tomato seeds in each one in a whole 72 cell tray. Which means that when the seeds popped up, I ended up separating them. And I had way more tomatoes than I needed. So what I did this year was, so I didn't have that problem, because I ended up potting them from these little containers right here because our garden was not ready yet. And I had to put them into little 4-quarts, and I had no space in here. This whole entire trailer was filled. The ground was filled with seedlings. I had 10, 40 trays. You couldn't even walk. It was like a maze in here. I just had a little path for me to step in between the trays. It was crazy. And so I didn't want to do that again, because I ended up losing a lot of the seedlings. I didn't use them all. A lot of my guys, they didn't really need them, so I tried to give them as many away as possible. But I felt like not only did I waste my time watering them, but I did move them inside and outside to harden them off. So I had to, when they grew into the 4 quarts, I was still carrying them in and out. And that was just a lot of work. And I started way too many seeds that was so unnecessary. I didn't even need to start as many seeds as I did. I started cucumbers and beans and a lot of things that I could have just sowed right into the garden bed and not had to spend time nurturing them here in the trailer. And I had 3 of these racks. Each rack was filled. I mean, we had this top rack right here that was filled, and I had 3 trays on each rack, which not all of the trays got the right amount of lighting. So yeah, some of the stuff was really leggy, which is when they try to reach for the light. Some of the stuff was stunted. Yeah, we just went crazy. So my second year was like that. My third year, I didn't learn my lesson because I still went crazy with the seeds. Not as many, but still a lot. So this year, I definitely toned it down quite a bit. So let me show you what we have going. All right, so first, let me grab my little tray out of here. This year, we are starting a bunch of artichokes. Now, I did get, I purchased some seeds from Johnny's Selected Seed Company. And I do have some seeds from Lake Valley Seed Company. That's some seeds that I just purchased from our local hardware store. I do have some burpees as well. And, but I think all in these trays, I think all I have growing are the Johnny Select seeds and the Lake Valley seeds. So I ended up purchasing some of these heat mats. They weren't that expensive. I think they came 2 in a package. I want to say they're like maybe $20. I'm not too sure. But they seem to be working pretty well. They seem to be holding their heat. In here in the trailer last year, I used a little heater, this little heater right here, but it sucks up a lot of energy. And all I need to keep warm are the seedlings. So I figure I might as well try this heating mat and see if this works. That way I don't have to keep that heater on and waste the energy. And then I also have this sprayer, which I purchased this sprayer a few years ago, a couple years ago, and it works great. So I just keep it filled with water, and then I just spray the top of the seeds while they're germinating. And then once they start to develop the 2 leaves, the 2 real leaves, that's when I start to bottom water it. And that'll make the roots try to reach down to the bottom to get to the water, so that the roots don't stay up high. All right, so let me show you what is happening for our 2023 garden. Okay, so now we have a bunch of artichokes. This year, I'm going to try some artichokes. I've never grown artichokes before. This is the first year ever growing artichokes. Now, when I read the package, it said that I should have started these 8 to 12 weeks ago. We're about maybe 4 to 5 weeks out from our last frost. Our last frost is estimated on between March 1st to March 5th, somewhere around there. So, we'll see what we get. Hopefully we'll get something. Now, on the package, it says that this is an 85-day until maturity. So we have a pretty long season here in zone 9B. So I'm hoping that we get some of these artichokes. Now I did start a lot of peppers, and I put 3 peppers in each one. So we have some of these sashimi hot peppers by Johnny Select Seeds. We have these Hungarian hot wax peppers, some Baron hot peppers. I did a lot of hot peppers. Red Rocket, Shishido sweet pepper, another Shishido, another Red Rocket, another Baron, Hungarian sashimi. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. A lot of hot peppers. Now, I don't really eat a lot of hot foods. I do like spicy, like Thai foods and things like that. But I've never really grown this many peppers, like hot peppers. So my goal is to learn how to make some chili powder and maybe incorporate some of this into my salsas as well. So that way I can have a little bit of a medium spicy type of salsa. So that's my goal with these peppers. And you know, I just want to try something new and venture outside of my box. I've never really cooked with chilies except for the Thai chilies. But I'm thinking, you know, this might be my year. 2023 is to start something new and start something fresh. So now let me share with you what we have for the tomatoes. All right, so over here, the tomatoes, we have some Cherokee Purple. Now the Cherokee Purple I got from Lake Valley Seed Company. And then we have some Roma tomatoes, which is from the Lake Valley Seed Company as well. We also have the Botanical Interest San Marzanos, because those were amazing last year. We had so many San Marzanos. I also got another San Marzano from Johnny Selected Seeds. And then we have a couple Sun Golds. We have some 5-star cherry tomatoes. We have a Bronze Torch, which I have no idea what that looks like, but I picked it out of the Johnny Selected Seed catalog, so I cannot wait to see what that looks like. We have some Heirloom San Marzanos by Johnny Selected Seeds. We have a Pink Berkeley, which I have no idea. It's called the Tie-Dye Pink Berkeley, and that is by Johnny Selected Seeds. I also started up some sweet bell pepper and some eggplants. So I have a purple, 2 purple eggplants, a Kermit eggplant, and a Thai eggplant, which I'm not too sure what the Thai eggplant's name is. One of my neighbors gave me a little seed pod, so I dried it, kept the seeds, and I've been growing that Thai eggplant ever since I harvested the seeds from that little, you know, pod that she gave me, which is amazing. And then I have some beefsteak, and these were, I believe, by Lake Valley as well. So that is my collection of tomatoes. Now, my goal is to succession sow some tomatoes. So in a week or so, I'm going to start another row of tomatoes. Now, I have a ton of garden beds out there that I know I could fill up with tomatoes and cucumbers and squashes and beans, and that is my goal. My goal is to try to utilize as much space in this garden and to plant as many things as I can that are going to grow out here. So maybe when I succession sow the other set of tomato seedlings, that's when I'll probably use these, because it'll give me more space, and then we'll be closer to when it's ready to be planted outside, and maybe I won't have to upplant them into bigger containers. So I'm hoping that this method works, and I'm hoping that everything goes well, because my goodness, you guys, look at this. I have 2 boxes like this of seeds, so many seeds. And let me show you my flower seeds that I plan on planting in the small garden. All right, so let me share with you what I plan on planting in that small garden. My gosh, I have to still organize some seeds. These are some vegetable seeds that I purchased from Johnny Selected Seeds. Okay, so I did buy this big pumpkin right here from Botanical Interest. You know, it's so funny. When I first started gardening, I saw this name on the bottom. It said Botanical Interest. And I remember it was like a lettuce package. And I thought the Botanical Interest, I thought the name Botanical Interest meant that that particular seeds were like, I don't know, not edible. I thought it was just for, you know, botanical interest. I did not know that was the name of the seed company. I've come a long ways. All right, so let me show you what we have going here. So we have some of these bachelor buttons. Aren't those so pretty? I cannot wait. Now these packages, on these seed packages, it just has a plethora of information. Do you see that? This one even has a little tag that you can use. And it has where you could put the date. So this particular one, Bachelor Buttons, this one recommends me to sow the seeds right outside after, it says here, 1 to 2 weeks before your average last frost date. Or in late summer, fall blooms, let's see. So it looks like, yeah, 1 to 2 weeks before your average last frost. So I'm definitely going to do that. And then we have some of these green mist. Look at that. Aren't those so pretty? So I can't wait to do that. And then we have some of these zinnias. These zinnias are so... Now, we had such a good success with zinnias last year, so I cannot wait to get the zinnias for this year. And then these ones are calendula pot marigold. Aren't those so cute? Can't wait with that peach color. I think that's going to be so pretty. And then, of course, we're going to have some Bells of Ireland. This is a tribute to my cousin-in-laws that came out. Because, you know, John is half Irish. I know he doesn't look like it, but his mom is from Ireland. So here are some sunflowers. Aren't those so beautiful? And then we have some lavender right there. Oh, I cannot wait to plant these in the garden. We have some of these sunflowers, some more sunflowers. Let's see, some more zinnias. These zinnias are called peppermint stick, and I think it's because the leaves have like a kind of a variegated look to it. We have some purple broccoli, and then rosemary. I am going to plant some of this rosemary. I bought this last year and I did not plant any, so I'm going to start some of this. It says that you could start it February through May, so I'm going to sow this right out in the garden beds. I'm probably going to put this in one of the containers. And then we have some of these marigold, I think marigold? Magnolia, sorry. Magnolia sunflowers. Aren't those so pretty? I cannot wait. I only have grown 2 sunflowers since I started gardening, so this will be so pretty. So now I'm going to, oh my gosh, and you know what else I forgot to do? I forgot to plant my bulbs. I don't think it's too late, but I have so many of these bulbs that I still need to plant, and I noticed that some of them are already starting to develop, so I need to get on that. I just noticed that right now. I completely forgot. So I'm probably going to do that today. Maybe I'll take you along with me depending on how long this video is. I don't want to make it too long. But yeah, so that is our flower collection that we're going to be planting. I need to organize. Look at my these are my seeds, all of my seeds. So I need to organize everything, and yeah, I cannot wait for this 2023 gardening year. So hopefully everyone is have their gardening seeds all ready to go. You know, in the beginning I was so scared to garden, but now I feel like I'm an expert, but I'm not. I'm not an expert in any way. I just feel like I'm not that scared now to put the seed in the soil. Because now I know that, you know, it's going to grow. Oh, and I also wanted to share with you some really quick information about these Johnny Selected seeds. So on these Johnny Selected seed packages, I noticed that it has a germination rate on there. So do you see that? It says here the germination rate for this package of seeds is 99%. So that's a really great germination rate for this one. These are cucumbers. And then on the back of the package, it has so much information. Do you see all of that information? It tells you when to sow them. It tells you, you know, like this is a trellising type, when to harvest it, the disease and pests that this one is attracted to. And I think that's pretty much it. It just has so much information. So if you ever are worried about planting or have no idea how to plant, or a beginner gardener or whatever, man, this package they just have so much information, and so does the catalogs. I noticed that a lot of the catalogs that I have received from the seed companies, from like this chicken company right here, this Stromberg's, this has so much information. It's like a novel. I mean, you could read about the birds. It has all this information about the birds, and you know, what kind of chickens to get, the size of the chicken. Let me see. It has like, look at this one. Do you see that? It has all the chickens. It has like what color egg they they lay, what size the egg is. So this catalog is a great catalog just to read up on chickens if you don't know anything about chickens, which I didn't know anything about chickens. Now, I did try ordering the chickens this year, and the shipping rate was so high. I couldn't even believe it. Was like double the amount of the same cost as the chickens. So I think this year I'm probably just going to order them from the store. Just go right into the store. I'm not too sure yet if I plan on doing that, but I really liked ordering them from this company because I knew exactly what I was getting. I mean, except for the fact that I got 2 roosters, but you know, that's the luck of the draw. So I don't know, I'm thinking I might still do some more research and see if I can get them, because they have a local store that they distribute it to. That's where I purchased them last night. I just went and picked them up. So I'm hoping that maybe this year I could call them and order them and then just pick them up right from the store like I did last year, because they said they're not doing that anymore. But I don't know, fingers crossed. All right, so that's pretty much what is happening on the farm. I think that's all the information that I have for you. So thank you for hanging out with me. Hope everyone stays safe, and yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, so take care, be safe, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.